Morning, Coach.
You all be here for Padded Day, right?
Yeah. Of course. Heck yeah.
All right, good to see everybody. Making sure we get off to a great start. First day in pads, and the first 2 days were very productive. And the emphasis of the entire offseason has been discipline, due to the fact that we have to continue to work on improving our culture. You know, last year we were, I believe, 129th in penalties, and we were about 109th, 110th in giving the ball away. So turnovers and penalties are a huge part of what we're addressing, and I think you see it every day. We're going to start practice with a turnover and tackling circuit. So, but give it to me. Questions? What do you got?
How hyped are the guys to be in pads?
How hyped?
Yeah.
You could probably see it on the way out. You know, it's the best part of football, right? They've been working really hard for this, and I think what they understand also, because we've been really emphasizing it, is that, look, you don't get any medals just for trying. Everybody's working hard during this time of year. We've got to address every single phase the right way. We took care of the winter conditioning program, okay, the fourth quarter program with Coach Veld, our strength staff, and the coaches. It's made us better. We move better, we move faster, we can bend better, we come out of our hips better, and it has shown up in the first couple days. Now we got to do it and execute our schemes in full gear with referees out there. We're really going to emphasize having officials here as much as possible to make sure that we improve as a team in playing a cleaner football game.
These guys really have a lust for contact, so when they get in pads, do you have a drill to open practice just to let them get it all out before you?
I think there will be times for that. We're just going to roll right into practice and establish a routine. There's times for fun, and we are going to have fun, but there's a lot of work to be done. And we have to understand situational football. We have to understand how, you know, certain formations, personnel groupings relate to substitutions and everything else. And we've got to work those details before we have more of the, you know, goofy fun stuff. We want to get after it. We want to be that team, and to do so, we've got what? I think it's 4 hours a day max. So little time, right? Why can't we have 16 hours straight, right? So we have our hours. We use them to the max, and we got to focus on certain things.
Coach, did you identify some concrete steps you could take to cut down on penalties as you were preparing for this spring?
A lot of them are pre-snap, and that has to do everything with focus and processes and cadence, alignment issues, not recognizing, not looking over the sideline, receiving a signal. Those are all processes that we can improve and control. And the first way to do it is to set up situations in practice that mimic those situations in an identical fashion. So you'll see the way we signal, you'll see the way that we use our cadence, you'll see the way that we keep guys off the field so that guys can identify an actual 11-man formation instead of, heck, some of our coaches end up looking like players in the middle of the way. You know, we got to get those guys back, and without killing our enthusiasm and energy, which has always been great out here at practice. That's a big part of it. Got to have that.
You said when you were at FIU, you kind of took pride in identifying, unearthing talented assistants to join that staff. How much different was it this time around with Oregon? You know, really having a pretty respectable pool for assistants.
Yeah, you know, it's you can draw from a different pool. You know, and we had, again, it was back then it was a matter of identifying guys at the FCS level or guys that were position coaches, like Scott Satterfield, head coach at App State, and a guy like Todd Orlando, coordinator over at Texas, Jeff Collins, the head coach at Temple. It goes on and on and on, just looking for guys that showed drastic improvement or guys that did a lot with a little. Now here at this level, obviously the brand in Oregon, the name is so huge, it's so strong that it kind of attracts itself. So it was much easier, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Trying to find and trying to mine out the guys that we need here in the program.
You and Mirabal go way back, but
way back.
The other guys, did you know any of them, or did you kind of interview?
Cross paths with most of them along the way. Guys that really impress you when you went and sat at a clinic, guys that you saw on the road that really had the kind of demeanor, the work ethic. I mean, the hours that I take a lot of pride in hours that I keep to not be outworked. And if I saw a guy keeping similar hours, I immediately kept note of that, saying, well, you know, one day that's someone to look at, because it requires that. It requires that. That can't ever be compromised, and no one should pat themselves on the back for that. That's what you do. It's part of the job, so we look for that in guys.
How much of a factor was their recruiting ability and their history of recruiting when you were looking to add assistant coaches?
Always. It's a huge factor. I think 20 years ago you could have 5 assistants that were strictly just good coaches and okay recruiters, and 4 guys that were really good recruiters. I believe you got to hit on all cylinders now. Guys have to be able to recruit, to coach, to develop, to form relationships. They've got to be real. They've got to be great mentors, great husbands, fathers. If they're not married, they've got to be great mentors, great examples for our guys. Just a holistic approach to the student-athlete development, because all that will turn to better football results. It always has. So we're going along the lines of that process.
Back to discipline, how does that mesh with aggressiveness and emotion and keeping those things?
Can't ever curtail that. They have nothing to do with each other. Like to me, like let's say pushing a guy after a play. How's that tough? How's that show us that you're tough? Let's see you buckle down, right? Buckle that chin strap, get your pads down, knock somebody back, finish a play, do the echo of the whistle, get back and do it again against good competition. Not against a whistle or a cone in a running drill, but against a football player that knows what they're doing. And that's what we're promoting. And we, put it this way, and we've been making it a big point, we have to develop an intolerance for anything less. And when we do that as a team, our locker room, and we get to that level where everybody's hitting on that cylinder, we're going to be in great shape.
Has having practice come right out of the fourth quarter program worked like you thought it would?
It has. It has. I was worried about going away for a couple of weeks and then trying to come back after spring break and kind of losing sight of all the things that we had gained. Now we'll practice 5 times before they go away as they finish their final exams and go on break. They'll have a pretty good taste in their mouth about what practice should look like and what the results of the fourth quarter program are like. So it's a positive for us.
Is there stuff you can take away in 2 days of just how ready the guys are or how improved they are from a year ago?
They're locked in. We have certain parameters we set. Early's on time, so if a meeting starts at 2:30, we better be sitting in our seats at 2:20. Everybody wearing the same uniform means everybody wearing the same stuff. High academic achievement means that Jacob better be packed day in and day out with guys busting their behinds to get good grades. What do you want for your son, right? Don't you want the same thing? Okay, so look, we're not gonna try to hype the process. We're not gonna try to head fake it. We're gonna be as real and as genuine as humanly possible, and that's what we need. We don't need external motivation and stuff to kind of make us go. We need to build this thing from the inside out, and as we get more and more of that going on, strengthen the DNA, cultivate the DNA, we're gonna be the team that we want to be.
So would you say that you coach players like you would want to coach your own son?
Hard. Hard, but the right kind of hard, meaning that every intention is perfect. And you never are really perfect as in terms of what you do. No human being is, but your intentions are. But you want them to be a competitor. You want them to be doing the right things all the time, to be a great student, right? To be a great teammate, to be unselfish. The list goes on and on, but we got practice, so I got to stop. But I think you have an idea of what you want. You cannot compromise that. You can never, ever compromise that. If you do it that way, you'll have a team with a foundation built on trust.
Coach, on that note, if you were to give an award to a position group for the most regard, what would you say?
We got to find out wearing pads. We got to find out wearing pads, okay? Because now it begins. Now it begins. And you know what? Toughness is not something that you come out of the womb with. I mean, toughness is something that you have to work on a daily basis. And it doesn't always look pretty at first. But I think as guys adapt, they develop a taste for it. They develop a hunger for it, and it drives them to become better and tougher and more physical. So those are things that we talk about. Hey, man, this doesn't just happen. We have to work on it, and we are.
You guys plan to scrimmage at all before you break away for that 2-week gap?
Before we break away? No. We'll have some live contact probably. We feel that we're ready, but we'll stay up there. We won't go on the ground. We don't have enough bodies to.
What have you seen from the guys like Jalen Red and Thomas Graham, who were freshmen last year, going through their second time through?
Improvement. Bodies have changed, moving better. They recognize the schemes, their assignments. They kind of knew what to do last year. Now they know how to do it and why we're doing it that way. So they're more efficient in everything they do. They can help some of the other guys kind of recognize their assignments as well. So, and we need to see those guys step up. We've got a really good quarterback crew. And the guys around them, we have to continue to put them in situations to make plays and make them feel confident that they can at any time.
What are the black stripes in some of the helmets for?
We're going to figure that out a little bit.
How do you strike the balance? It's like 2 more guys staying healthy, obviously necessary, and
you don't
some guys competent.
Yeah, you don't go to the ground. You stay off the ground. Everything is full tilt, but you take care of your teammates. If you feel there's going to be a pileup, a guy's going to go to the ground. Offense or defensively, you make sure you find a way to keep them up, because that's really the only time you get hurt. or most of the time you get it when somebody's on the ground, they get rolled up, they get driven into a pile, they get caught up with an ankle or knee. So we are just lights out, very involved in preventing guys from being on the ground.
On National Signing Day, you said that there's always something that's keeping you up at night. Even then, you said that it was the next year's class. What's keeping you up at night these days?
Last night, my 8-year-old. Okay, right now, until we get in pads and do some more stuff. It's just honestly right now, it's the excitement. You know, it's the energy. It's the way that the guys have bought in and are taking ownership. You see a transition taking place. So we've got to create more difficult situations and present adversity. If we don't, we're cheating them. We've got to create those situations and get good at battling through those things. Okay, guys? All right, thanks for being here. You guys want helmets and shoulder pads or handing them out? For real?